Hey y'all, welcome back to episode 3 or 8.2 as we continue the conversation on the purpose and origin of woman. This video will delve into the topic of the creation of the female. So far, we highlighted in previous topics that when God created man, just like himself, 3 in 1, the created man was also 3 in 1 at creation. The spirit man, and the spirit woman. We pointed out that God did not create a gender. And today, we will explore a bit more. Full disclosure, y'all. I'm not a theologian or a pastor. I'm simply a follower of Christ, chosen by God to share what I've learned about living a kingdom life here on earth. Like Moses, I felt like I couldn't speak well. Like Gideon, I felt insignificant. And like Paul, I've made my fair share of mistakes. But as Jamaicans often say, you can't run, but you can't hide when God calls. So, do we have any Elijahs here? It took me years to finally surrender and say, yes, Lord, I am here. Now I'm like Isaiah, ready to go wherever he leads, say whatever he inspires, and do whatever he asks. So before anyone comes for me in the comment section, understand that this journey is not my own. I'm simply a vessel. Sometimes I might say, pray for me, or take it up with Jesus. But that's the reality of walking with God. Now let's begin. God created man for the purpose of having a loving relationship with him. Love is an action word, y'all. So to show us how much he loves us, God gave us dominion over the earth. The spirit man was made in God's nature to love God, but because love can only be reciprocated by its own likeness and nature, God needed the male to also experience love in the physical, and here comes the female. The Lord said, "It is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helper suitable for him." The spirit in the male had a communion with God, but the physical male needed communion also. It's a natural desire. See, because we were made in love, in the image of God, it is natural for us to also want to give love, especially the man here. So please note, I didn't say that to give and to receive love. I said it's natural for the male, made in the image of love, to give love. Just note that. I'll come back later. Man was created to want to give love, just like the Creator. Now that Adam exists in the physical form, that physical form is desiring love also, or desiring to give love also. Now the Lord had formed out of the ground all the wild animals and all the birds in the sky. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them. And whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. So the man gave names to all the livestock, the birds in the sky, and the wild animals. But for Adam, no suitable helper was found. Still no woman. Woman came about because of love. It was love that caused her existence. God created man so he, God, can love him and be loved by him. But God made woman for man to love her. The main purpose of the female was to be loved by the male, just as God's major purpose for creating the spirit man was to give him love. We talk a lot about having dominion, but That was only the secondary reason why God created man. God created man so that he can love man. And because when you love, you share gifts, God gave man the garden as a gift. And just a little side note for you sisters, notice that God created the gift before the one who's to be gifted. Some of us settle way too much, but that's for another time. You could choose to ponder on that if you wish, though. So Adam completed his assignment of naming the animals, and notice that they all were paired. The cow with the bull, the mare with the stallion, the hen with the rooster. You get where I'm going with this, right? I imagine even though household pests like cockroaches had their pair, I believe God designed this observation to lead Adam to a profound realization. His own longing for companionship. God wanted Adam to come to the realization on his own that he desires his own helper. Had Eve been created along with all the other animals, the longing for a partner wouldn't have been as intense. Because when God created Adam, he created 3 in 1. Adam, being spirit man and male, could tell that there is a missing part of his existence. And we all know you can't miss something that you never had. Realizing that he was missing his helpmate, God said, it's time, he's ready. And so the Lord God caused the man to fall into deep sleep. And while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and then closed up the place with flesh. Then the Lord made a woman. The Lord made a woman. The Lord did not create a woman. The Lord took Adam's rib and made woman from the rib that he had taken out of the man. And then he brought her to the man. God drew the spirit man for himself and created him a spiritual being. He drew the woman out of the man and made her a physical being. Again, God, who is love, needed someone to whom to give his love. And so he created man out of himself. Similarly, the male needed someone to give his love. And so God made the female from the male's own body. This parallel, God creating man in his own image and creating woman from man, it beautifully illustrates the oneness and the profound love intended for both the divine God and human relationships. The female is both the same as and as different from the male. Because the female came from the male, this had me thinking for a while, because before this revelation, I was like most women thinking we gave birth to them. And we physically, yes. But we're not just physical. We're also spiritual beings. And we have to learn to live in that identity. So because the female came from the male is essentially the giver. And the female is essentially the receiver. Like, her physical difference from the male is that she is able to bear children. That's it. She physically has to receive the man in order to bear children. You can say that a woman is a wombed man. She is a man with a womb. The same as male, but with certain differences that are complementary in nature and are designed so that the male and the female can fulfill one another's emotional and physical needs while they are spiritually nourished by God and his love, and together fulfill their purpose to have dominion over the earth. This is so deep. I need about a week to unpack the thoughts that are going off in my head. Listen, the only difference between Men and women is their functionality. The difference in how the assignment of dominion over the earth is carried out. The assignment is the same, however, the execution of it is different. Because they have specific purposes, they were designed differently. Their physical body is different and their authority is manifested and carried out in different ways, but it's the same assignment to be carried out differently. I hope you're following. The way you are is because of why you are created. The differences in male and female is because of what they are called to do. Adam himself proves the equality between male and female in Genesis when he says, bone of my bones. He's saying she is just like me in structure, flesh of my flesh. She is like me physically, emotionally, psychologically. We are the same, but we're different because why? She has a womb and can bear children. To fulfill the assignment, he the giver and she the receiver. She was taken out of him and is designed to receive his love. Her qualities that we call differences is to complement him. By the way, different doesn't mean inferior or superior. Adam and Eve were living happily in the garden, and one day a serpent showed up, and we all know what happened after that. The fall of man. And that's where we will begin in the next presentation. We'll delve into the conversation of how the fall transferred the roles of male and female having equal dominion to male's domination over her. As usual, if anything in particular resonated with you, please state in the comment and share the video and subscribe for more content as we continue our series on pursuing your kingdom purpose. Until next time, stay purpose driven.